Evening, BookTube. Hi, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and so currently I have tomorrow off. Thankfully, I worked the past 3 days, and then I have tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow off. But then I work again all weekend, as I suspected. So, but I'm actually off next Monday and Tuesday, which will be nice. But I mean, complain about working, but really, I don't have a problem with my job. I actually like my job. I mean, it's hard to get up in the morning, and it's halfway through, I'm already ready to go home, and my ankles and my feet are like, I can feel in my knee area too, are killing me. But I mean, once I have something to eat, that's why I always bring a sandwich with me to eat during my 15 minutes break, then I'm okay. And it does help when some of the cashiers I'm working with, like my friend Virginia and some of the other girls, or women, they're actually women, and I keep getting this stupid message, Google password required, enter your password in internet accounts. Like something about maybe they get an update or something, but I don't have a problem with my Google account or anything. So I don't know why I have to update it, if that's what that means. But it keeps popping up. It won't go away. And I think I watched someone else's video that I think they also have it looked like they also have a Mac. I want to say it was Reagan, watching one of her vlogs. I think she also had a Mac computer. And I know she had the same problem. I don't know if she ever responded to that. But in the vlog, I remember that popping up on her. Actually, I don't think it was during her tier ranking, which I'm curious to check that out. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if it would require signing up to the site or something, because I don't want to sign up for another site just to do some, tier ranking video. I mean, it's fun and all, but if it's not something I can just easily do without signing up for anything or trying to figure out some stuff, that. But anyway, so as you saw in the thumbnail, if it shows up, because for some reason I still have not figured out how this thumbnail thing works. But I have here The Hangman's Daughter, which I'm almost finished with, and I realized actually that, which is funny because of, which it's actually funny because, if I'm still going back and forth with the whole, Myth Taker readathon, like I'm sort of doing it, but not really putting in a lot of effort. Like I didn't even really declare a TBR. I mean, I talked about books and I said I might do it. And I still keep thinking about books that could apply if I didn't. So I will probably next year do it in a more official capacity. But I just realized that this book, I've been wanting to reread Uprooted now that I have my own copy, now that I bought my own copy, and I realized it could apply to the Royal Court prompt, read a book with the royal colors on it. And one of the colors are, I think, red, gold, and purple. And this looks kind of, even though this is probably more yellowish than gold, it looks kind of like it could pass off as gold. And for a little bit, I thought that I wonder if this is supposed to be the dragon. Right here, that person where you can see only a small portion of his face, but you can see the one eye, like half of his face. I wonder if that's supposed to be the dragon character. But anyway, I actually thought for a minute there this was supposed to be like there was a gold light here that is shining in her hand, but no, actually it's a yellow flower. But I could pass this off as gold. But anyway, I was thinking it's funny because Spinning Silver is supposed to be a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, and that one, the miller's daughter can spin straw into gold. But they kind of, Naomi Novik did her own spin on it, where it wasn't gold, it was silver. She could make money into, coins into silver, kind of thing. So, but yeah, I think this can pass off as gold. Like I said, I'm not really, I'm only, what's the word? My heart isn't, my heart is like half in it. Like I want to still do it, and I could create a character and everything. I actually that's why I can't draw worth my life, but I still kind of I still can come up with the ideas and stuff. I still like coming up with the ideas, And what I would probably do is like type it on a document, and then like I don't know. It's not like I could really show it to anybody or even show it to like Jean or Ashley, because I mean it's not like we're like friends or anything. I mean I follow them, I like their videos, and they seem like nice people. I can see myself being friends with them, but they don't know me, so it's not like I could send it to them or anything. So I'm really just doing it for myself if I do it. But, I mean, with like a picture, you can easily, like, if you draw something, yeah, that you can post on Instagram. But I don't know if you can post something that's written, like take a picture of a written document and then post the document on Instagram for someone to read, because no one's gonna want to read that. But anyway, I mean, unless I made it like a poem or something, I could do that. That could be something. It won't take as long to read. You can make it like a poem or something. I don't know. But anyway, if I did do it like this, I could apply this for the prompt of the color. And then prompt number 3, of course, is the secret book. And then the last prompt for the Royal Spy path is, I cannot remember off the top of my head. I have to look it up again. But I know the prompt for the if I went to the assassin prompt, went deviated to the assassin after I did the third prompt, and then if I decide to go on the assassin pathway, I know that the fourth prompt is read a quick read. And at first I was gonna do either Wondersmith or Of Gods and Jade and Shadow, but then I decided there was 2 other readathons I wanted to try to do, which were the one that I don't remember what the actual readathon is called, but it's traditional week-long readathon that G from Book Rose created to kind of be in between the Owls readathon and the Newts readathon, where you go into Hogsmeade, where you follow a path into Hogsmeade, so you read a book for each of the places in the little village of Hogsmeade. And one of the prompts I think for that one has to do, and I think one of the prompts is read a diverse read. Actually, that might be for the Fantasy-a-thon. The Fantasy-a-thon, which is hosted by the Book Pusher, which I can never remember her name. I have to pay attention more to her name, because once I hear the name, pay more attention to the name, then I remember more easily. But the Book Pusher is doing her Fantasy-a-thon readathon, but she's also doing, since it's the last, she was kind of like just decided to do it. And, time kind of getting away from her with what's going on in the world. Everyone, she was distracted like everybody else. And so she had decided the last one, you know what, we haven't done the Fantasy-a-thon, so I'm going to do it. And she decided to, only make it a week-long, I think it's a week-long readathon, instead of like a whole, like, I don't know how normally, because I didn't do it like 2 years, I think it's been 2 years. I think she said it 2 years in a row now. I didn't participate because I kind of forgot about it, which I really like, or I want to do it, but then it kind of slipped my mind. So I definitely want to do that one as well. I think it's also a week long. And with that one, she didn't change any of the prompts. And one of the first prompt is read a diverse fantasy read. So either that one, either Of Gods or Jade and Shadow, or I'm gonna read. I also have the where is it? I also have the Poppy War as well. And one of them is read a diverse read, and then another one is read a book that is of a woman of color, of an author of color. And I think Gods of Jade and Shadow would work better for that because it's actually the Mexican culture, the Mayan culture. I think the Mayan culture comes from the Mexican culture, or is the Mexican part of the Mexican culture originally, I think. I don't know. I need to check that out and double check on that. But anyway, so one of them, that one I would probably read more. But anyway, and then I also have piece in Turmoil, which I'm going to start once I finish The Hangman's Daughter, and it's going to apply one of the I think Fantasy-a-thon. You have to fit one of the Fantasy-a-thon prompts, and I figure I'll start, even though Fantasy-a-thon is not till towards the end of the month. I'm going to go ahead and start it now because look at this chunker. It's like 800 pages. So I figured I better start now because I'm never good with books over 500 plus pages. Like YA books that are 800 pages, and this is adult fantasy, but YA books that are like 800 pages or more. I have gone through those. Like I'll probably get through this one. Damn it. Sorry, I dropped. Sorry, books. Okay, they slid out my dang on hand. Books are so slippery, if you notice. Like, hardback books aren't as slippery, I don't think. I think they are also kind of, I think hardback books are also kind of slippery, too. Just annoying. I don't appreciate that. Although slippery books make pretty covers. But, like a book like this is, I do want to start this either this month or next month. This one, which I guess I can't use this one for The Secret, because you guys have seen it. So I can't use this one for The Secret. Keep it a secret book. But, actually I could, because if I kind of just told you guys that I can't use it for The Secret book, then you would never have known. But anyway, like, this one I could probably, even though this book is, like, this book is, how many pages? Okay, this is, okay, seriously, how many sneak peeks are there? Oh, this acknowledgements. 668 pages, so not 800 pages, but pretty chunky book. And this one, I will get through this one a lot quicker than I'll get through this one, in all honesty. And they're almost the same size, almost. Oh, yep, yep. So tall. The adult books are a little taller than these, or at least in this case. I don't know, maybe, but either way, I could probably get through this one a lot quicker than this one. And it's just, I don't know, it's just the way YA books are written. I get through them quicker, and it doesn't take me as much time. But anyway, so currently, I still don't know which book I'm going to read for this prize book. I don't know though, I might, like, I'm trying to pick one that I know won't take me as long if I chose to read a book for the surprise choice. But, for the quick read if I go the assassin path, if I deviate to the assassin, is this one. I decided to pick this one, which, yeah, it doesn't look quick, but I got through the first one once. I mean, yeah, I took a break in between reading the first chapter, but that was because I got sidetracked a little bit. But if I focused, I could probably get this done really quickly. I mean, first of all, it's big words, big print. And, like, when I got through the first book really quickly, so I'm assuming I'll get through this one really quickly. But this is the sequel to Kings of the Wild, and this is actually about the daughter of Gabriel from Kings of the Wild. Remember, in the first book, they were looking for his daughter, who ended up, wanting to follow in her father's footsteps and become a mercenary. So this is her story, and I don't know, it sounds, and I don't know if this is I think this, it's a sequel, I don't know if it's gonna be, like, about the events that led to her ended up in that city where she got trapped. it actually might be about that. So technically, it would be a prequel because it would be the events that led up to her being trapped in the city, in that city. So I guess it would be a prequel. But I like how the tagline is "Girls just want to have fun." That's I cannot remember that original artist, but Miley Cyrus did a cover on it that I really liked. But I cannot remember her name. The original artist who sang that song. But anyway, I'm gonna if I thought about doing this for the quick read because the other books I was thinking of I might read those two for the other ones for the other readathons that I mentioned. So anyway. So now, as for The Hangman's Daughter, this is a pure. I guess. Well, I was thinking medieval mystery, but actually, I think it would be more considered Puritan because I think it's right before the Salem witch trials, or around the time the Salem witch trials were going on or starting to happen. And you're in this German village, and you have this little boy turns up found dead by the river. He's an orphan boy. His adopted father finds him, and because this little boy and all of his friends were hanging around at the midwife's house, they suspect her of being a witch and that she cursed him and that she killed him. So the midwife, Martha Stellan, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, is arrested for being a witch, and they're basically in the hangman, who also people are scared of him, don't like him, and don't trust him, and they're suspicious of him. He believes that she's innocent, and so does the young doctor named Simon Fromwiesel. So they are trying to investigate to prove that Martha's innocent, and that either there's there is a real witch, but it's not Martha, or that maybe it's really not witchcraft, it's just a bunch of crazy men that are causing trouble, that are killing children. And there's also, in The Hangman's Daughter, actually, the title actually refers to that Jacob, our hangman, does have a daughter, Magdalene, who wants to follow in her father's footsteps, and Simon has romantic feelings for her, and wants to marry her, but because she's the hangman's daughter, and he's a respectable son of a doctor, everyone keeps telling them that they shouldn't get married, and she should marry another hangman, and that he should marry some respectable girl in the village. So that's kind of a subplot. I am really enjoying this. I wasn't sure if I liked mysteries set before the 20th century, but I liked this one. Because the last mystery I read that was kind of more medieval, about a nun solving a mystery in I don't know if she's an actual nun, if she was an actual nun, I don't remember, but she's solving a mystery in a convent. I don't even remember what the mystery was. But at the time I didn't really like it. I ended up not liking it. I can't remember. I think I gave it 3 stars because it wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't my thing. So I was thinking, I don't like those kind of 16th century or 17th century or whatever medieval story mysteries. But this is, like I said, I think this is around the time of the Puritans, or like Puritans, although that's in America. I think they were called Puritans, but in Germany, it's in Germany. So around the same time that the Puritans in our country were. And I'm really it's very fast paced. It's really fun, and I'm definitely having a strong reaction to everything. And it's basically I definitely get the fear that these people are having, but at the same time I'm thinking, you're so stupid. You're not dealing with witchcraft or devil worship. I mean, the people are so they get so afraid that they become stupid and will jump to any conclusions and assume that, oh, that's a sign of witchcraft. There's this whole thing about if a woman had a birthmark, some kind of birthmark on her body, that meant, oh, she's a witch. She has this. If it was a little weird, I remember one of my friends had a birthmark that was covered a lot of her shoulder. I think it was her shoulder. It was just, it was really this really dark splotch, and I imagine that if she was back then this time, they would say that she was a witch. And I remember in some other stories I hear that they would drown women. Like, if you were a witch, you could float. So, and of course, a woman, unless she knew how to swim, she'd die. So either way, like, it wouldn't matter, because either she would float and they would burn her at the stake, because they're like, you're a witch, even though she probably could swim, even though it was probably because she could swim. Or maybe, or if she ended up drowning because she couldn't swim, because I'm sure a lot of people couldn't swim back then it, was like, oh, well, she died. I guess she wasn't a witch after all. And then I remember in the Crucible, there was an old guy who, like, they accused him of witchcraft, and, he was, like, buried, crushed by stones, and he wouldn't confess, and they, like, kept telling him to confess, but he just let himself get crushed because he was innocent, he wasn't a witch, and he was not gonna admit to something that clearly wasn't true, but of course everyone was so afraid and paranoid that it was just like, it didn't matter. And, they questioning this woman, Martha, and they're like, they're not gonna leave her alone until they get the answer that they want to hear, and her to confess that she's a witch. And I get that these parents are afraid, these people are afraid because their kids are getting killed, although some of these adoptive parents, because a lot of these kids are orphans. Except for the one little boy. He's not technically an orphan. His mom passed away. So it's just him and his dad. But there's only like one parent. Well, maybe some of the other parents care. I don't know. But actually, no, I don't think any. I think there's really only one person. One of the parent, or one of the sets of parents actually cares about their adopted child. In fact, the woman's husband favors his adopted daughter over his other kids because his other kids are brats. And then, of course, you find out from the little girl that all of her adopted siblings are constantly bullying her and, being mean to her, and the parents don't even notice it. You favor this little girl over your other kids, but you don't even notice that she's getting, picked on by her adopted siblings, and she still feels like an outsider in the family. But, I have mixed feelings about the hangman. I remember, what is his name? Jacob Cousteau. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Jacob, I kind of like him, but then I get very frustrated because he's definitely a product of his society, because he doesn't. Okay, I don't know what that was. The way he kind of, Simon is in love with her and wants to marry her, and I get that he's trying to protect his daughter from scrutiny, people talking about her and gossip, and he doesn't know if Simon can really take care of her, because Simon has never been on his own before. And, of course, he's a protective dad. He wants to protect his daughter, and he does love his daughter, but there's some things that he says that make me roll my eyes and be like, it's such a, clearly. Okay, I don't know what that's. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's this weird piercing whistle sound that is going on downstairs. I don't know if you guys can hear it when on the video, but keeps all of a sudden I'll hear it. But anyway, and he just in this one scene, he's they're investigating in the middle of the night, something that they can only do at night. And Simon is talking to Magdalena, the daughter. And there goes again. I do not know what that sound is. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's kind of I can't whistle, so I couldn't really make the noise. But anyway, he kind of he didn't really mean to. He just told her that her dad figured out something. And and she, because she's smart, she's very clever, and she's basically takes after Jacob in that sense. So she figures out what he's doing, which makes, that keeps interrupting my train of thought. And she figures it out, so that night she follows them to where they're going, and her dad is Dima, why'd you follow us? And Simon, and he kind of glares at Simon, did you tell her? And he's like, no, she just figured it out. And, and he's like, you can't tell a woman anything. She's too smart for her own good, kind of responds is like, she's not, and then he refers to her, and then there's one point where Simon has to get down on the ground, and Dig and the other Jacob and his daughter he's the one who has to do it, so he's getting all dirty and stuff, and he is kind of complaining about it, and he's like, why do I have to be the one to do this? And first of all, Jacob, Magdalena's like, my dad can't do it, he's too old, and her dad's kind of a big guy, not big in this way, but big, I think, and he's broad, and her dad pipes in that you expect a delicate young lady to do that, which I have mixed feelings about that comment, because on the one hand, yeah, I appreciate the thought that he wouldn't want, but it's very gentlemanly of Simon and her father to think like that, but on the other hand, it's like, you don't think your daughter is capable of digging around the muck? Of course, Magdalena doesn't say anything, so, but, yeah, so it's like, there's some things that he says that I'm making kind of like, of course, a guy from the 1650s or whatever, of course he would say that, or think that way. I just feel so bad for Simon and Magdalena, because they just want to be together, they love each other, want to get married, but everyone's like, both their parents, or at least the dads, are like, no, you need to get married to someone else, you shouldn't be getting married to each other, because people would criticize you, and I get that they care, I think Jacob cares more about his daughter than Simon's father, who I think is just more about reputation than anything else for him. Okay, I don't know what that sound is. After I'm done filming, I have to figure out what that sound is. But anyway, I also like Simon. He's he's nice, and he's described as very good looking, but he's only focused on Magdalena, which is really, I really like that. And I decided to picture him as, I'm picturing him as what is his name? Dan Stevens. That's how I'm picturing him. That's how I see him looking. Now, I don't know how old Simon is supposed to be. I can't remember, but, I don't know if he's supposed to be, but that's what I'm picturing him looking like. I'm almost done with it. I have, there's only 16 chapters, and I'm in the middle of chapter 13, I think? Or no, chapter 12. Chapter 12, and I'm almost to 13. So once I get 13, then there are only 3 more chapters left. But again, this is one of those books where, so yep, I'm almost to chapter 13. But again, this is one of those books where a lot of really long chapters, but I'm getting through them quickly. Like I said, during my breaks, I'll read at least a couple pages during my work breaks. So, because I have a bigger lunch bag, so I can carry books this size with me. Of course, I still can't bring hardback books, but I can bring, like, these books like this. And then, or like these two. Not together, but I could bring them separately. Like, I could bring, I think I could bring this one. But I'm just so excited to read. I am so excited to read, Eliot's book. I can't wait. I especially want to read it because, like, I'm obviously still excited to read this book. And I know I've said in the past that if I look at reviews, that's not a good sign. If I look at Goodreads reviews, because then it means I'm hesitant, but I'm not hesitant. I was just scanning through to see if there were, what negative reviews there were, just to see how, like, just out of a little bit of curiosity, see if there were, what people, And so one of the negative reviews, I appreciate you have your own opinion, and that's fine. If you didn't like the book, and your criticisms, are valid, that's fine, but one of the things he said that really bugged me was, like, what this guy said on Goodreads was, like, he had noticed that a lot of the reviewers were Eliot's friends, and they were her beta readers, and it's like, so, it basically, from what I remember, the impression I got, he was implying the only reason they gave it a positive review is, oh, they're friends, so they're biased to Eliot. It's like, and Eliot's probably not, funnily enough, I'm sure Eliot is probably doesn't care about the way, I'm probably more bothered by it than she is, but it just, like, funny, because it was like saying he assumed that they only were giving it positive reviews because they were her friends, and he doesn't even know these people. And like he also, and if it have the what, and even if that was the case, they're not. Then that he's basically implying that they're not doing, the beta readers aren't doing their job. So, because that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make the corrections and critique it, and then she fixes it. So if it needs to be fixed. So it's like he doesn't know these people. This reviewer is just assuming that like, oh, they only liked it because, because this person didn't like, this reviewer did not like the book, so he only assumed that everyone else only gave it positive reviews because, oh, they're friends of the author. And it's like, that is so judgmental and unfair. How do you know? I mean, you may not like it, but everyone has such different opinions. Just because, I mean, your review isn't law or like God or anything. Your review isn't, it's your opinion. So if you don't like it, that's fine. But don't assume that because these other people that they love the book and had nothing but positive things to say about it, then that means that, oh, they only liked it because, and like because they're friends of hers. Now it's been a while. Now I admit it's been a while since I read the review. So, if I'm wrong about if I look back with the review and I misinterpreted that review, I apologize. And maybe that's not, because again, it has been a while since I read the review. I just remember reading it and getting the impression that he was saying that this person was saying that, oh, the only reason that people liked the book and thought it was good was because they're friends of the author. And it's like, you don't know these people, so what makes you assume? I mean, how do you know that they're that kind of? In fact, like I was listening to Stephen King's you guys know that I think it was last month. It was, so I think it was back in April, where I listened to Stephen King's memoir on the craft of writing, and he says he actually likes them with his friends, not because they give positive reviews, but because they'll be honest. And they'll do it in a way that is not, and they will do it in a way, they'll give you a review without being mean about it. I mean, again, that has been a while also, but I remember him saying that he liked it not because they'll give him positive reviews, but because they'll give him honest reviews, and that are, that are very helpful, and won't, they won't they might sugarcoat it a little bit, but they'll be honest, and they'll tell you if what needs to be fixed and what's bad and what they didn't like. So I'm eager to read this book and get my review on there. Now I admit I will probably have nothing but mostly positive things to say about this. But, I mean, in the end, it doesn't matter because they were mostly positive reviews anyway. Like, a lot of people love this book, and I'm sure I would love it too. Because I'm not because, oh, I'm friends with Elliot, so I'm automatically, because Ellie doesn't even know me. I just have to watch her channel, and, I've attempted to comment a couple times, but the last time I tried to comment, it wouldn't work. It wasn't cooperating for me, so I ended up not commenting. But I don't remember what the video was, but anyway, so she doesn't even know me, so no, you can't, even if I give her positive reviews. Not because, oh, I know Elliot, she's my friend, but it's because, I'm easy to please. I'm not someone, and a lot of times, in fact, I end up feeling like trying to scramble to find something negative, some criticism to give a book, just so I feel like no one's going to think, oh, you're only giving it because you're not really thinking about it, you're not being critical, or, because I feel like you have to give at least one, think of one thing, but if you can't, then nothing, I do realize, deep down, I know that there's nothing wrong with it, but I always feel like I should say something to, it's gotta be something that I don't like, but I have trouble finding it, because I'm a pretty easy to please person. But anyway, but yeah, I cannot wait to read. I'm so excited. But either way, I'm gonna start this month, because like I said, this is a brick of a book. And I hope one day Elliot gets popular enough that you'll be able to find this in stores. Like, I don't think it's in, I don't think you'll find it at Books A Million or Barnes & Noble or anything like that. So, because I think it's still kind of new to, I don't know what the publisher's name is, but, like, so you can get it online. Book design by J.S. Kennedy. That's what's it. Cover art by Sarah Hodgson. Oh, so she did some illustrating too. And she has a website. I don't know who the publisher is. Did she independent? I don't know if she independent. I don't know if this was. Did she self? I guess she self-published it. I think so. It's not popular. It like doesn't have an actual. I don't think it has the actual publisher. It's a self. I think it's a self-published book. So like I think. So I don't know if so. It's not. Unfortunately, it's not in stores yet. But I hope one day it will be in stores. Like she could be the next Brandon Sanderson or next Naomi Novak or something. I wonder how. Speaking of Naomi Novak, I wonder how she. Because Elliot did do a video about female authors and how they struggle with because apparently they say that female authors can't write epic fantasy. Well, bam, you know, and she is a woman. This is, I mean, but although I think her name would be considered gender neutral, and I noticed like, and she talked about how there are authors who will give themselves a gender neutral name when they publish a book. So that, you know, because if a guy knows that it's published by, like a reader knows that if it's published by a female, then I'm not going to even bother with because apparently women aren't capable of writing that stuff. Well, again, bam. Of course, I guess I can't myself because I haven't read it yet. But, I mean, but look at, like, Naomi Novak. Like, look, bam. And I was thinking of this because her name is Naomi. She goes by a clearly female name. And this is adult fantasy, you know? I mean, and it has, yes, the elements that only apparently women write is romance and stuff like that. Yeah, it does have those elements, but first of all, it's not even a big thing in this book. And then she writes the Temeraire series, which barely has any romance in it, by the way, but yeah, Naomi is clearly a female name. I don't know any guys with that name. So it's like, I wonder if she ever, when she first published these, like when she published the Temeraire series, did she have to publish it under a pseudonym, or did she publish under like a male pseudonym or something? At least it's not now. At least it's not as bad as like when Jane Austen and them were writing, because like George Eliot. Her name, she's a woman, and her name is something. I want to say I heard this. People say her name was Mary or something. But she published George is a guy name. You don't have. I mean, although now they have Georgie, like the actress Georgie Henley, who she was in, the Chronicles of Narnia, the first two movies. Or well, actually, she was in all the movies that have been out. I don't know if they're. I would love for that to be a series, a TV series. Since although that one did better than some of the other ones, like Aragon and the Golden Compass, Inheritance, the first movie for the Inheritance cycle. Those did not apparently do as well because people were not. The readers were not happy with the movie interpretation, but I mean, they made 3 movies for the Chronicles of Narnia, so they could, you know, but they never continued it. But I would love to see a TV show version of that one. But it would be, like, I would love to see, I was kind of excited to see Will Poulter and his story continue, because he plays the cousin, whose name I don't remember at the moment. Eunice, or, I can't remember. I can't remember his name, the cousin's name, but because he's the main character in the books after that. So I was kind of looking forward to his story continuing, and the girl that he meets and stuff and becomes friends with, they go on adventures together. I was looking forward to that, but they never continued with it, which is disappointing. Because I like Will Poulter. But anyway. So I almost done with this one, so I'm going to read a little bit more of this. I don't know if I'll finish it tonight or if I'm going to finish it tomorrow morning, although me and my mom might run some errands tomorrow. Like she did suggest about maybe we could go to the dollar store and pick up some Father's Day cards. Well, I think she has one, but she offered, but I think I would like to get some backups for maybe next year, so I won't have to worry. Because, I mean, we have cards at my store, but even you know, my mom had said, you know, that they're expensive. So it wasn't just me being like, When am I going to pick up the card? When am I going to pick up? And apprehensive about making my own. Because I mean, I have, obviously I pay for my books when I go to like Books A Million and stuff, but I haven't done the self-help registers or anything like that at my store before. I mean, I've seen, and she's had me go through the process or whatever, her and my dad, but I've never done it like myself. Which I know is weird because I'm 31 years old, but my situation is weird. There's things that I typically, people my age would normally be able to do by now that I still don't know how to do. And I mean, I don't even live with my parents still. They're not living with me, I'm living with them. So, but, so it's not just me being apprehensive about that, it's mainly because my mom said the cards at your store are expensive. Because, yeah, they charge too much for cards, and then charge too much for magazines, and then charge too much for books. Because, in some grocery stores, they have that little display of paperbacks. Like those mass market paperbacks, or trade paperback, B paperbacks. They have those there usually. And, again, those are also expensive. Just like my mom thinks they charge the same price at a store that actually sells books and magazines and stuff. But cards are expensive, and so my mom usually gets cards at the store Aldi's because it's cheaper there. And then she said we could go to the dollar store tomorrow, maybe, and pick some up tomorrow because she's off tomorrow. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to say that the dollar store is in the same shopping center, Books A Million, so maybe I could talk her into letting me go, and I can buy those 2 classics, Far From the Maddening Crowd, and there's one more. I can't remember. Silas Marner. It's the George Eliot book. It's a shorter one. It's more like a novella length. I get that one. And I really wish they had other Dickens books, because they have all the Dickens books they have are ones that I already have. And I have been tempted to buy some of those. They're copies, like bigger copies of the Dickens books instead of getting rid of my mass market paperbacks. But it's like, am I going to get rid of all my mass market paperbacks? Which means if I ever did that one prompt, and I couldn't, then I would never have I could never do that. There's that one of those tag videos where it's the scavenger hunt tag thingy, and one of them is, do you have a mass market paperback? Well, if I got rid of all my mass market paperbacks, I would say, I can't never say that I have one. Well, I know that's silly, but yeah. So, but I have thought about it for like a second, like getting rid of all my paperbacks, mass market paperbacks of some of my novels, of some of my books, and just getting like those versions of all the Dickens novels. And I have thought about buying a copy of Oliver Twist, because I did it wasn't my favorite Dickens, but I thought about buying it. Because I have that omnibus edition, but it's hard to travel with. So, anyway. Yeah, so hopefully maybe I'll go to Books A Million tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure. I want to say the dollar store is in the shopping center, but I don't know if it is. That'd be awesome though if I could go. Which, actually, speaking of Dickens, it's gonna be, I probably won't get back to this until, until July. Probably won't get back to reading David Copperfield until then. But, I don't know, I might come back to it. I wonder who are the characters on the cover. I don't know. I can't tell what's on the cover of this one. I'm guessing this is supposed to be David, maybe? Or maybe not, I don't know. I can't tell. Maybe, But anyway, and the same thing with Carnival for the Dead. Getting pretty far, and I want to get pretty far before but at the moment I'm not as interested in this one. But I don't want to wait too long before I get back into it. It's definitely very interesting. kind of like, mysteries that are based on, like, something to do with art and stuff like that. And then I thought about reading this Jane Eyre this month as well. I thought about it, but I might wait until July to read this one as well. Because it doesn't really work with my... There's so many books I thought about I want to read for The Secret, if I did The Secret TBR book. And then there's also still, and I might still read the book that I was going to read for the foil cover prompt, which is in the sorceress character profile. In one of them, in the second prompt for all of the paths, is the Night Country. This isn't the prompt, but the prompt is read a foil cover. And I think this is the closest to foil that I'll get, that I'm aware of, that I have. So, I might still read this one. But, I think this is foiled. I think this is what foiled is. Because it does look like what the examples of foil covers. I almost wanted to find see if this particular book is on there. But anyway. Okay, and then I guess, and I'm gonna take, I don't know when I'm gonna start this one again. But, it wouldn't really work but this is another one that I don't want to wait too long before I get back to it. But this is a book, which is, The Legends of the Dragon Realm. And I was thinking, I'll just read the one novella and then read the next novella. But then I was thinking, well, would that really count? Because I'm not reading the whole book. I'm just reading one, because there's three individual books in one big volume. So I'm not technically reading the whole book. So I figured it wouldn't really count, even though it could count for one of the royal colors on a book, which is one of the royal colors is red. But then it's like I'm not reading. There's 3 books in one volume, so I'm not. So I was thinking it didn't really count. So I will, like I said, the other 2 readathons are towards the end of the month, and they kind of blend with, run together, meld together. So I'm gonna, like I said, that's why I'm gonna read this Elliot's book. I'm gonna read this one also because it kind of, I could apply it to all the prompts. I mean, not all the prompts, but at least one prompt from each readathon. But I need to start now because there's no way I'll get it done by the end of the month. So, although I almost don't want to rush it though. I almost don't want to get it done though. I think that's part of the problem is I also want to savor reading the book. I almost don't want to finish them. But anyway. Okay, so that's what's going on with my reading right now. Unless I wanted to get this video in before the sun went down. It's evening now as I'm filming this. So I wanted to get this in. So I'm going to continue reading a little bit more of this tonight before I get to bed. I'm going to sit outside on my back porch. The back deck, actually, we have a deck in the back. So I'm continuing reading it back there. Maybe get through this chapter, maybe read chapter 13. And the good news is I'm off tomorrow, so I don't have to get to bed early. Too early is too early. I mean, I'll still go to bed at the same time because I feel like I want to stick to my schedule and try to at least get in bed by 12. But I want to try to read up to chapter 14 before I go to bed, and then I'll start reading 14 tonight in bed. But I'm not going to read all night because I'm one of those weirdos who likes to get on the computer too and watch YouTube videos and stuff. But although I'm probably going to finish watching Peter Likes Books' vlog. He's doing these new really cool vlogs where he's filming in his car, and I'm guessing he's using his phone, not his computer, but he's filming in the car while talking about his reading and stuff, which I think is really cool. I mean, I wish I could do a vlog, but I don't even know at first. I mean, I don't even know how to do it. And second of all, I'm like I said, I live with my parents. and they're not gonna want to. I don't think they're gonna want to be in the video. And then I don't really like do much, and I don't even drive, so it's not like I'm taking you guys. I mean, unless I walked, which unfortunately there's that one neighbor, that one woman. When I start being able to walk to the 2 Books-A-Million again, I mean not Books-A-Million, the roast office again. There's a chance I might pass that one lady who just likes to talk and tell me about her life and how miserable or how happy she is. It's like, I mean, your life is interesting, all, but I don't really. Although she's of that age, I mean, I don't know. She looks like she's of that age group. That could be. So I hope nothing happens to her because she's a sweet lady. It's just. I mean, as long as she stays in the house and doesn't go anywhere, and is not one of those people who easily gets so restless to the point of wanting to. But anyway. So. Yeah, so that's the only, I mean, I might run into her and then she might see me filming or not understand that I'm filming but anyway, so it's just, my life isn't that interesting. I mean, of course, all of those vloggers might say that about their own lives, but at least they can get in the car and drive places and stuff like that. I can't do that. I have to walk. And I live at home with my parents, so they'll be, and I don't know if they would want to be in a video anyway. And my mom doesn't understand, like, she would think, and then I feel like I wonder if my mom thinks, why would someone want to watch that? Because if you're just filming yourself reading, that's kind of boring, and it's like, well, no, they're not boring at all. I mean, I'm not trying to put words in my mom's mouth, because I don't know if she's really thinking this, but really, I mean, and I don't know how they need to be one of those people who breezes past the people reading, like with, sometimes you film someone reading, but you can fast forward a little bit, and you can play music, and people have edited them so you can have music and stuff in the background, and I don't know how to do that stuff either. Like, I have 2 male cousins who potentially know how to do that, but I mean, I don't live with them and stuff like that, and they have their own lives and jobs and stuff, so it's not like I can easily ask them to help me with that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, I wish I could do vlogs, though. It looks like fun. If your life is interesting, which, so far, all the ones I've watched, the people are very interesting. And they seem very productive, even if they say, I didn't do anything today, they still seem, like, very interesting. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to finish this one. I'm going to try to get to chapter 14 before it gets too late. And then, I'll get on the computer and do some stuff, maybe finish watching Restless and listening to the commentary for Restless, the Buffy episode. It's the last episode of season 4. Watch a couple episodes, watch that one, and then I'll start watching Angel season 2, which I probably should watch Angel season 1 after Buffy. I should watch Buffy first and then watch Angel season 1. But I decided to watch Angel first after I watched Buffy season 3, and then I would so Buffy then Angel, Buffy then Angel. So I will watch season 2 of Angel, which is going to be such a hard season to watch because in that season, Darla comes back and kind of ruins things for Angel and kind of gets him between him and his friends, and he goes down a very dark path so he can kill Drusilla and Darla, or at least torture them enough so she can and he feels like he has to go down a dark path, so he kind of fires his friends, turns his back on them, and it takes a while for them to forgive him, which is so hard to watch, because I'm like, why, Angel, why did you have to, it's just the kind of guy he is, he feels like he has to do things like this on his own. That's how a lot of dark and broody heroes are. They feel like, this is my job, my responsibility, I have to do this on my own, so I'm going to push everybody else away, everyone else I care about, because it's best, because I know it's best, but anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna read a little bit, then I'm gonna watch that last episode of Buffy with the commentary, and then I'm gonna start one episode of Angel season 1, then I will go to bed. Actually, I need to do that soon, because I only have 4 hours left of the day. Well, although it's evening now, so it's not day anymore, but, yeah, so I'm gonna say goodbye and stop rambling. So feel free to share with me how it's going with you guys. I hope you all are staying home and safe and only going out if you need to. Hope you're not, and you're staying, like, away from all the trouble that's going on. I mean, it's it's very sad what's going on right now. All the people, all the people feel like they have to. The only way they can be heard if they protest, and it's very sad that they feel that way, to the point of where it's getting dangerous. It's not getting safe. It's getting violent, and so I hope, like I said, I hope you guys are staying safe and staying out of that mess. And I hope you're still able to enjoy your reading and not let it ruin your reading. And if you guys like this video, be sure to give a thumbs up. Click subscribe if you hadn't. If you haven't, click the bell notification below to see when I post new videos. And feel free to share what you're reading right now. And I will talk to you all later. Bye!